It's a Festool CTL Sys. It's the new extractor sustainer from Festool. There's a ton of YouTube videos.
Hard to believe. That was 2 years ago I posted my first ever video to YouTube, and 2 years on I thought it was probably about time I took another look at the Festool CTL Sys, see how it's holding up. That's coming up after the jingle. So yeah, those 2 years have certainly flown by, at least they have for me. The old extractor here is obviously a bit more battle scarred and weary, probably much like myself, but it is holding up incredibly well. It's obviously a bit more of a mess. I have literally just come in off a job with this, so it's not quite as tidy as it might be. So yeah, it's all a bit sort of janky and nasty, but it is holding up remarkably well. The old hose hack that I did, kinds of stuff in the bottom. The hose hack that I did is generally holding up pretty well. We do have a bit of a crush here. I think it's got caught by something hot. Can you see that? It's starting to just collapse very slightly. And I've also, because it's only 22mm, 7/8 of an inch, it is kind of prone to blockages. You've got to keep using it for fine dust. And when you do get a blockage, that is a bit of a pain. I did pick up something at the weekend, I did pick up something yesterday where it's definitely not sucking quite as well as it might, and I'll take you through the process that I have to go through to clear that out in a little while. But generally speaking, the extractor has been absolutely fantastic. Really pleased that I got it. And I'm delighted to have been able to use it for the last couple of years. It's been a fantastic piece of kit. It has literally accompanied me to every single install that I've done, and it does get used in here periodically as a third vac. Sometimes if I've got stuff painting in here, I need to cut something quickly, I'll just pop into the other room and cut it there, in which case this is the perfect vacuum to go along with it. Now, when the vacuum was first introduced, I don't know if you remember it, but there was a big song and dance. People were up in arms about the fact that there's no variable speed control on it. That's been a feature of all Festool vacuums since they were introduced. And I came up with all kinds of weird and wonderful ways. In fact, I found this little dingus and even made a sort of half-hearted video about it to introduce kind of variable speed, variable flow into the vacuum. But to be honest, I haven't missed it at all. I just use it as it is. I think the smaller hose definitely reduces the airflow slightly, so you do get slightly less suction. Incidentally, if you're not aware of why you'd want less suction, if you're doing fine surface sanding, reducing the amount of suction stops the sander being sort of sucked onto the material. It makes it juddery and hard to get a nice smooth finish. The other trick you can do, as well as using these kinds of things, is you can actually offset the paper over the holes slightly, the abrasive, so you get sort of a little less suction going through. You get slightly less dust extraction as well, of course. But that's another little trick that you can do. But as I say, I went around and I found this thing. I'll dig out a link to it and pop it in the description, in the show notes. But it was such a nuisance to use. I just sort of carry on using it with the shorter hose and using it normally. Now, the other thing that some folks fretted about was the size of the bag. It is pretty tiny. You don't get a lot of dust collection in there. To be honest, I really welcome that, because if I'm doing a lot of sanding of fine material, the bag's going to clog long before it fills up, and I'd rather just swap out a small one. They're much cheaper than the MIDI and 22 bags. And the other complaint, of course, was that there's no long life bag. Well, most of the time I'm sucking up stuff that's pretty nasty. I just want to be able to sort of throw it in a bin and never see it again. I don't want to have to empty out little bags like that, it's crazy. Now, as I said earlier, the only slight niggle with having the narrower hose on it, and it's not a great heavy duty hose, it is pretty easily crushed. The only sort of niggle with it is that if it does get a blockage, it's a bit of a pain to clear it. And I did pick up something when I was using it last. Means I do have to do that now. So what we'll do, I'm going to strain it out. It is very flexible, the hose, which is good, but it's not particularly strong. Although it is quite cheap. I take a length of 15mm plastic plumbing pipe, polyplumb pipe. And like sort of one snake eating another, it's just got to sort of feed this through. Eventually pops out the other end. Whew. So there we are, 2 years on. It's been used pretty much daily in some fairly hostile install environments, and it's been absolutely fantastic, I've got to say. Highly recommended for this kind of work that I do, you know, light installs, that kind of thing, clean up on site. I use it with the Trexor TS55, I use it with the Capex, not so great with that. I use it with the Sanders. I've used it with the Domino. It all works absolutely fine. No problems with any of those things with regard to dust extraction. You know, it's a fantastic little tool, great value for money if you're into the Festool system, and of course it's part of my regular stack of sustainers now, and it just gets wheeled around with everything else. It's a brilliant little piece of kit. So that's it for 10-minute workshop this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly found this useful and highly recommend it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it amongst your friends, and please do consider subscribing. Then you'll be notified whenever I put up something new. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.